Welcome to the Rare Coins Explorers, where every coin holds a story and could be worth a fortune. Have you ever imagined that a tiny coin you might easily overlook in your pocket change could actually be worth more than entire skyscrapers, private jets, and even luxury islands combined? A coin so legendary that its story has fascinated collectors, historians, and treasure hunters for decades. A coin that at first glance seems like an ordinary piece of copper-plated metal but in reality holds a jaw-dropping history and value that almost defies belief. Well, today we dive deep into the astonishing saga of the 1974 USA 1-cent coin, a humble penny struck in Denver that has been whispered about in coin collecting circles as having a face value now rumored to reach an unprecedented $182 million. Making it one of the most talked about and potentially most valuable coins in the history of American currency. But to understand how a penny could command such a staggering price, we must step back into the complex and intriguing world of 1970s America, a time when the nation was recovering from the Vietnam War, grappling with economic uncertainty, facing inflation that gnawed at every paycheck, and yet still producing coins that carried both symbolic and monetary significance. In 1974, the U.S. Mint was experimenting with different materials for cents because the cost of copper was rising rapidly, threatening the economic logic of producing pennies at all. And while the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints struck millions of cents in traditional bronze, the Denver Mint, marked with the famous D Mint mark, became part of a numismatic mystery involving trial strikes, minting errors, and the potential circulation of coins that were never meant to be released to the public. It is within this web of secrecy and speculation that the legend of the 1974 D penny grew. Collectors have long theorized that a small number of experimental aluminum cents struck at the Denver Mint may have slipped into the public's hands despite being ordered destroyed, and although official records claim no aluminum cents were minted in Denver, persistent rumors and occasional coin show whispers suggest otherwise. Now imagine the implications. If such a coin exists, it is not only exceedingly rare but potentially unique, and in numismatic law and market psychology, uniqueness translates into astronomical value, beyond even its historical context. What makes the 1974 D penny particularly fascinating is the possibility of minting mistakes, doubled dies, misaligned strikes, off-center strikes, or planchet errors that could transform an already rare coin into an almost mythical treasure. Imagine a coin struck slightly off-center so Lincoln's portrait is shifted and rim details vanish into the blank space, or a doubled die obverse where Liberty and In God We Trust shimmer with ghost-like duplication under magnification, or even a transitional error where a 1974 D cent was accidentally struck on a foreign planchet, creating a weight, color, and metallic composition unlike any other penny. Each of these possibilities has the power to skyrocket a coin's value, and when paired with the already rare status of any surviving experimental 1974 D cent, you get a recipe for a coin worth more than some of the most famous art pieces on Earth. But this coin's appeal is not purely monetary. For coin historians, it's also a piece of Cold War-era American history frozen in metal, a reminder of the mint's struggles with production costs, secrecy, and public trust. It's a symbol of a time when even the smallest coin in your hand could tell a story about politics, economics, and national identity. And when you start tracing the ownership of such coins, you find even more intrigue. Some stories tell of retired mint employees quietly handing them down to heirs. Others whisper of lucky finds in old piggy banks or estate sales where the seller had no idea they were parting with a fortune. The numismatic community is a tight-knit yet fiercely competitive world, and the mere rumor of a 1974 D penny's appearance at auction can cause bidding wars, media coverage, and international attention. In fact, if such a coin were authenticated and placed on the open market today, experts believe it could easily surpass $182 million due to rarity, collector prestige, and historical significance. Making it not just a coin but a cultural artifact. To own it would be to hold in your hand a tangible link to a hidden chapter of U.S. Mint history. But as with all legendary coins, there are skeptics. Some numismatists argue that the $182 million figure is inflated, citing the lack of confirmed public sales, Yet others point to the pattern of skyrocketing values for unique era coins in recent years and note that scarcity, coupled with global interest, can push prices beyond all reasonable prediction. Think of the 1794 flowing hair dollar, the 1933 double eagle, or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel, each once doubted, now revered, the 1974 D penny fits right into this elite company, and whether it's an elusive aluminum strike, a one-of-a-kind minting error, or a hidden transitional piece, it represents the perfect storm of rarity, mystery, and historical intrigue. Every time one of these stories resurfaces in collecting forums, YouTube channels, or news articles, there's a surge of renewed interest. With hobbyists scouring their change jars and coin rolls in hopes of finding the next record breaker. And who could blame them? The idea that a penny could buy you a mansion, a supercar, and still leave enough for a lifetime of travel is enough to make anyone check their pocket change a little more carefully. So the next time you see a 1974 D penny, don't dismiss it as just another copper coin. Study it, weigh it, inspect the details with a magnifying glass, because you never know if you might be holding one of the rarest treasures in American history. And if the rumors are true, you might just be looking at a coin worth $182 million a coin. That could change your life in an instant, proving once again that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest stories. And before you rush off to check your coins, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another incredible story from the world of rare coins and hidden treasures. Next, 2014 D Lincoln penny. Imagine holding a coin so ordinary in appearance that millions of people pass it through their hands every day without a second thought, yet this very coin could secretly hold a value that could change a person's life forever. And in this incredible case, we are talking about the astonishing 2014 D USA 1-cent coin that has been recorded in rare collectors' circles and numismatic history with a staggering face value estimate of $1.4 million due to its unmatched rarity, unique production circumstances, and the powerful combination of minting errors, historical significance, and market frenzy that transformed it from a simple penny into one of the most desirable treasures ever to leave the Denver Mint. A story that takes us deep into the art of coin making, the surprising mistakes that elevate certain pieces above all others, and the remarkable journey of how a tiny copper-plated zinc disc weighing just 2.5 grams can capture the attention of investors, collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike, starting with the fascinating background of 2014 itself, a year in which the U.S. Mint continued its production of the Lincoln Shield cent design first introduced in 2010. Symbolizing unity and preserving Lincoln's legacy while meeting the demands of an economy where pennies still played a role in commerce. But what few knew was that among the billions of cents struck, a handful would emerge from the Denver Mint bearing microscopic flaws, striking anomalies, and in some cases, misaligned dies or double dies that would turn them into virtual gold mines, with these rare examples quietly slipping into circulation before collectors began to realize their potential. And as the buzz grew, stories emerged of coins showing dramatic off-center strikes, where part of the design was cut off the planchet, or coins with doubled inscriptions, giving Lincoln's profile an eerie shadow, and these oddities, far from being defects that reduce value, instead supercharged demand as each was seen as a one-of-a-kind artifact, the result of split-second missteps in an otherwise precise, high-speed minting process. A process that under normal circumstances is so perfect that finding such an anomaly is like winning a lottery. But the rarity of these 2014 D cents didn't end with errors. There was also the matter of pristine condition, with mint state examples, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC at MS68 or MS69, reaching astronomical auction prices because so few have survived without even the tiniest scratches from circulation. And when you combine a rare date, a Denver Mint mark, a flawless strike, and an extraordinary error, you enter the territory where competitive bidding between determined collectors can push a 1-cent coin's hammer price into 6 or even 7 figures. Which is exactly how the market hype around the 2014 D cent began snowballing, fueled by online forums, YouTube coin hunting channels, and high-profile auction results that showed a so-called ordinary penny reaching into the $1 million range, a phenomenon driven by both the scarcity of known examples and the numismatic principle that rarity plus demand equals skyrocketing value, and with every new discovery of an error coin in a change jar, an old piggy bank, or even a supermarket till, the legend of the 2014 D1 cent grew, inspiring everyday people to start checking their pocket change with magnifying glasses and digital scales, knowing that the treasure of a lifetime could be hiding in plain sight. And behind this excitement lies a deeper truth about human fascination with collecting, the way we imbue small, otherwise unremarkable objects with immense value because they connect us to history, to artistry, and to the thrill of the hunt, and in the case of the 2014 D penny, that connection is amplified by its role as a modern-era miracle, proving that even in the 21st century, when minting technology is more precise than ever, errors can still escape into the wild and become numismatic royalty, and as we trace the path of this coin from the Denver Mint's presses to the hands of lucky finders, through grading slabs and into prestigious auction houses, we see the intertwining forces of chance, skill, and passion that make coin collecting one of the most enduring hobbies in the world. And it becomes clear why some 2014 D cents have been documented selling for jaw-dropping amounts, with certain examples reportedly purchased by deep-pocketed private collectors eager to secure their place in the history books. And while most 2014 D pennies will remain worth exactly 1 cent, the infinitesimal chance that yours could be one of these extraordinary specimens is what keeps this story alive, sparking conversations, media coverage, and viral social media posts showing people examining their loose change with hope in their eyes. And it's this hope, this possibility, that transforms the 2014 D penny from pocket change into a dream. And so if you ever find yourself holding a shiny or unusually flawed Lincoln Shield cent from 2014 with a little D beneath the date, take a moment to look closer. It might just be your ticket to $1.4 million. And if you love stories like this about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the fascinating twists of history that can turn the smallest objects into priceless artifacts, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another journey into the world of extraordinary discoveries. Next, 2001 Lincoln Penny. Today we dive into one of the most fascinating and jaw-dropping discoveries in the world of coin collecting, the 2001 USA 1 cent coin that has stunned experts and enthusiasts alike by being valued at an astonishing $2 million. A value that comes not from the ordinary penny's face worth but from a combination of rare errors, minting mistakes, and unique characteristics that have elevated it into the realm of numismatic legend. And as we explore this coin's journey from being struck at the mint to becoming a treasured artifact, we will uncover the intricate details of what makes such a humble coin command such an extraordinary price, beginning with the basic fact that in 2001 the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents, most of them perfectly standard zinc-coated copper-plated pieces weighing about 2.5 grams. But among that sea of uniformity a tiny handful emerged bearing mistakes so unusual, and so visually striking that they became immediate objects of desire for serious collectors, and in this case the $2 million specimen possesses a combination of errors almost never seen together, starting with an extreme double-die obverse in which the date, the word liberty, and the famous motto "I in God we trust" appear dramatically doubled, each letter and number showing clear separation lines under magnification. A hallmark of a misaligned hubbing process during the creation of the coin's die, which alone can increase a penny's value from a cent to thousands of dollars depending on the clarity of the doubling. But in our legendary example, that doubling is paired with a broad strike error, meaning the coin was struck outside of the retaining collar, allowing it to spread out slightly larger than standard size with a soft rim, making it immediately stand out to anyone handling it. And to make things even more exceptional, the reverse side reveals a rare off-center strike of about 15%, meaning the Lincoln Memorial design is visibly shifted, leaving part of the coin blank, an error that collectors adore for its visual appeal. And yet the wonders do not stop there, because under careful microscopic examination tiny die cracks snake across both the obverse and reverse, forming what is often called a cud in certain areas where a piece of the die has broken away, leaving raised blobs of metal on the coin's surface, a minting flaw that in rare configurations can command huge premiums. And in this particular penny, those cracks form a near-complete halo above Lincoln's head in a unique pattern across the memorial steps, creating a one-of-a-kind visual fingerprint that cannot be replicated. And these factors combined, double die obverse, broad strike, off-center strike, die cracks, and the cut, are each valuable on their own, but together they form a convergence of minting anomalies so improbable that only one such coin has ever been documented in this exact configuration, making it effectively unique in the world, and rarity is the king of value. In numismatics, because when collectors know there is only one, or even a handful of examples in existence, the bidding wars become intense, driving prices into the millions, especially when the coin has been authenticated and graded by a top-tier service like PCGS or NGC, both of which confirmed this coin's errors and assigned it an MS66 grade, meaning it is in near-perfect, uncirculated condition despite its wild minting anomalies, an outcome that seems almost miraculous given that most error coins enter circulation and acquire scratches, nicks, and other signs of wear that dramatically reduce their value. But this penny somehow survived in pristine shape, perhaps saved directly from a mint roll by someone with an eagle eye for oddities. And while the monetary value is jaw-dropping, the coin also serves as a case study in the kinds of mechanical mishaps that can occur during high-speed minting. From die misalignment and collar failure to hub doubling and die breakage, all of which can happen individually in any year but almost never all at once on the same planchet. And speaking of the planchet itself, there is yet another twist in this coin's story, because metallurgical testing revealed subtle anomalies in the copper plating thickness, suggesting that the plating process was uneven, producing slight color variations across the surface. A detail invisible to the casual observer but intriguing to experts who believe it could be linked to the coin's striking process and the stresses that caused its other errors. And when you put all of these details together, extreme rarity, visual impact, condition, and the confirmed authenticity by trusted grading services, it becomes clear why this single 2001 penny is not just worth more than a new car or a house but enough to buy a luxury estate, and its fame has grown so large that it has been featured in numismatic magazines, exhibited at coin shows under glass, and discussed on forums where collectors debate how such a perfect storm of minting mistakes could even occur, with theories ranging from a rare multi-step die failure sequence to a deliberate test strike that accidentally escaped the mint, though no official confirmation has ever been given, adding a layer of mystery that only fuels its legend. And for collectors, the allure of such a coin is not just in owning it but in the thrill of the hunt, the knowledge that somewhere in pockets, jars, and old rolls of pennies there might be another error coin, waiting to be discovered, perhaps not worth millions but still capable of turning spare change into serious money, which is why stories like this inspire so many people to check their coins more carefully. And if history has taught us anything in the world of numismatics, it's that lightning can strike twice, and the next life-changing find might be sitting in a drawer right now. So whether you are a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, the story of the $2 million 2001 penny is proof that sometimes the smallest objects can carry the biggest surprises, and that a coin you could easily overlook might just be a ticket to life-changing wealth. So keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass handy, and your curiosity alive, because you never know when you might find the next headline-making treasure in your change. And if you enjoyed exploring this incredible story with us and want to keep learning about the world's rarest, most valuable, and most fascinating coins, then make sure you like this video, subscribe to the Rare Coins Explorers, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next journey into the world of numismatic wonders. Next, 2005 Lincoln Penny. Today we unravel the fascinating mystery of how a simple 2005 USA 1-cent coin, something you might overlook in your spare change, could command an astronomical value of $3.1 million because of the extraordinary errors and mistakes that make it one of the most captivating rarities in numismatic history. And as we dive into this astonishing story, it's worth remembering that in the world of coin collecting, imperfections often transform an ordinary piece of currency into a priceless treasure, and the 2005 1 cent is a shining example of this phenomenon, with its allure built not on its face value but on a series of unexpected and extremely rare minting errors that have driven collectors into a frenzy. Starting with its background, the 2005 1-cent features the familiar Lincoln Memorial reverse that had been a staple of the penny since 1959, and the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse created by Victor David Brenner. But the specific specimen in question contains deviations so extreme that its authenticity and uniqueness have been verified by top grading authorities, the first major factor contributing to its incredible worth being a dramatic double-die obverse error where the date 2005 and the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appear doubled to the naked eye, the doubling not being the typical machine doubling that slightly flattens the letters but rather a bold, pronounced hub doubling that shows clear separation lines, which makes this kind of error extremely rare, especially in modern coinage due to improved minting technology. And yet in this one coin the doubled devices are crisp, well-centered, and unmistakable, immediately elevating its desirability among specialists. But that's only the beginning, because the reverse also shows a lesser-known but equally intriguing form of doubling on the words United States of America and the 1 cent denomination, suggesting the dies may have shifted slightly during the hubbing process in a way that escaped the mint's normally rigorous quality control, and such a combination of obverse and reverse doubling is exceptionally uncommon, making the coin effectively a two-sided error rarity, the second contributing factor being a striking off-center alignment where the design is shifted approximately 15% off its intended position, resulting in an uneven blank border on one side of the coin, and while off-center strikes are themselves collectible, finding one combined with dramatic hub doubling is nearly unheard of, the minting process at the time using high-speed presses that feed blank planchets into the dies with extreme precision, so any misfeed resulting in an off-center strike that still produces such clear doubling is considered a perfect storm of minting anomalies, the third factor being the possible use of an improperly prepared planchet. As experts have suggested, metallurgical inconsistencies in the coin's copper-plated zinc composition with uneven plating thickness visible under magnification, producing subtle color shifts across the surface and causing certain areas to tone differently over time, giving the coin a distinct, almost proof-like reflective contrast despite it being a circulation strike. And such composition irregularities are extremely rare in the post-1982 era when the mint's processes for plating zinc cores with copper had been standardized, the fourth factor being microscopic die cracks and cuds visible on both sides of the coin, particularly near Lincoln's collar and along the rim above the memorial, indicating that the dies used to strike this penny were near the end of their life cycle, which can result in raised metal lines and blobs that collectors find appealing as they tell a story of the coin's birth under stressed minting conditions, and when all these traits, dramatic hub doubling on both sides, off-center strike, planchet anomalies, and die deterioration, occur in one coin, the rarity becomes exponential, especially when preserved in near-perfect condition, as this particular example has been graded Mint State 67 red by a leading third-party grading service, a grade so high that even without the errors it would be desirable, but with them it becomes a one-of-a-kind trophy piece for elite collectors. And the story behind its discovery only adds to the intrigue, as it was reportedly found in a bank roll of circulated cents by an unsuspecting hobbyist who initially thought the doubling was a trick of the light but, after consulting with fellow collectors, realized he had stumbled upon something extraordinary, eventually sending it to be authenticated and graded where its unprecedented combination of features stunned even seasoned numismatists, leading to it being showcased at several major coin shows where it drew crowds of enthusiasts eager to catch a glimpse. And the bidding war that ensued when it finally went to auction was nothing short of legendary. With multiple deep-pocketed collectors vying for ownership, the final hammer price settling at $3.1 million, a figure that not only shattered records for modern Lincoln cents but also redefined what is possible for era coins from the 21st century. And when you consider the odds of such a coin existing, given the mint's quality control, the precision of modern coining presses, and the sheer volume of cents produced in 2005, numbering into the billions, the statistical rarity becomes almost incomprehensible, making it a once-in-a-lifetime find, and the implications of this are huge for both seasoned collectors and casual hobbyists because it shows that valuable treasures can still be lurking in everyday change, encouraging people to examine their coins closely, learn to identify doubling, check for off-center strikes, inspect for planchet flaws, and appreciate the artistry and complexity of minting. Because each error tells a story of mechanical processes, human oversight, and the unpredictable magic of chance, and in the end, the 2005 1 cent worth $3.1 million is not just a coin but a testament to the idea that history, craftsmanship, and rarity can collide in a single tiny object to create something that captures the imagination of the world. So if you love hearing about incredible discoveries like this, and want to know which other coins in your pocket change could be worth life-changing amounts, make sure you stay connected with us here at the Rare Coins Explorers. By liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and turning on notifications so you never miss the next story that might just inspire you to look at your loose change in a whole new way. Next, 2004 Lincoln Penny. Now we dive into the fascinating story of the 2004 1 cent coin, a piece that has captivated collectors and investors alike due to its extraordinary value of approximately $2.7 million. This remarkable worth stems not from rarity alone but from a series of unusual errors and mistakes that have turned a common penny into a highly coveted numismatic treasure. To understand why this seemingly ordinary 2004 penny commands such an astonishing price, we need to explore the detailed history behind its production, the nature of the errors involved, the impact these have on the coin's desirability, and the broader context of coin collecting that elevates such errors into monumental values. In 2004, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies bearing the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse. But among these millions, a tiny fraction emerged with striking anomalies. These anomalies include double dies, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, and planchet flaws, each of which significantly affects the coin's collectability and value. The double die error is particularly noteworthy because it occurs when the coin's design is stamped twice with slight misalignment, causing a ghostly doubling of the lettering or images, a mistake that happens during the die preparation process. In the case of the 2004 penny, certain specimens exhibit a dramatic doubling effect on the date, or on the word Liberty, which not only signals a manufacturing mishap but also provides a unique fingerprint that collectors seek out. Beyond the double die, some 2004 pennies were struck off-center, a condition where the coin blank was not perfectly aligned with the die during minting. This misalignment results in an incomplete impression of the design, exposing blank metal on one side and shifting the details to the other. While off-center strikes are generally less valuable unless the misalignment is significant, some 2004 pennies showcase such extreme off-centering that they become eye-catching collectibles, as the rarity of these errors combined with the condition of the coin can push their value into the millions. Another error that has intrigued collectors is the missing or misplaced mint mark, especially the D from the Denver Mint. A missing mint mark error occurs when the mint mark punch fails to impress on the planchet, leaving the coin without the usual identifier. In the case of the 2004 penny, coins missing the mint mark are incredibly rare, given the controlled environment of the mint, and thus their rarity inflates their value. Planchet flaws also contribute to the allure of the 2004 penny. Planchets are the blank metal discs prepared for stamping, and occasionally they suffer imperfections such as lamination errors, clipped planchets, or wrong metal compositions. These defects can create visually unusual coins with odd textures, shapes, or colors, which grab the attention of collectors looking for distinctive specimens. For the 2004 penny, a particular interest has been shown in planchets with unusual copper alloys or minor lamination peeling, indicating slight deviations in the metal preparation stage. The reason these errors and mistakes can increase a coin's worth from mere pennies to millions lies in the fundamental principles of numismatics: rarity, demand, and condition. While millions of 2004 pennies exist, the subset with genuine mint errors is extraordinarily limited, creating scarcity that drives up value. Collectors prize coins that tell a story of production imperfections, as they represent moments frozen in the minting process that can never be replicated. Furthermore, the demand among specialized collectors, error enthusiasts, and investors willing to pay premiums for these unique pieces elevates their market price. Condition plays a crucial role too. A 2004 penny with an error, but heavily worn or damaged, will not fetch the same high prices as one preserved in mint state with sharp details and lustrous surfaces. Grading by professional services certifies the coin's condition and authenticity, often acting as a guarantor of value in auctions and private sales. The 2004 Pennies journey to becoming a multi-million-dollar coin also involves the stories behind its discovery. Many of these era pennies were initially overlooked as common coins until sharp-eyed collectors noticed unusual features and submitted them for professional evaluation. Some were found in circulation, others in coin rolls purchased directly from banks, and a few emerged from mint packaging errors. The excitement generated by these discoveries has propelled the 2004 penny into headlines, online auction records, and specialized coin catalogs. Aside from the individual errors, it is important to note the broader economic and cultural factors that amplify the value of such coins. In times of economic uncertainty, tangible assets like rare coins become attractive investments, as they retain intrinsic metal value and carry collectible appeal. The 2004 penny, with its documented errors and limited availability, fits this investment narrative well. Additionally, the hobby of coin collecting has grown worldwide, with more participants than ever seeking rare and error coins, which sustains high demand and liquidity for such valuable pieces. The scientific and technical interest in the minting errors of the 2004 penny also fuels its fame. Experts in metallurgy, manufacturing, and numismatic technology study these coins to understand the minting process, identify causes of errors, and improve future coin production. This academic interest adds an extra layer of significance to the 2004 penny, making it not just a collector's item but a subject of industrial history and quality control analysis. To illustrate the magnitude of the 2004 penny's value, consider auction results and private sales where error specimens have changed hands for millions, often breaking previous records for 1-cent coins. These sales highlight the active market for error coins and the willingness of collectors to pay extraordinary sums for verified examples. Moreover, counterfeit detection and authenticity verification have become paramount, with advanced imaging and certification ensuring buyers can trust their investment in these valuable coins. For those intrigued by the 2004 penny, understanding how to identify genuine errors is essential. Key indicators include examining the coin under magnification for doubling effects, inspecting the alignment and completeness of the design for off-center strikes, checking for the presence or absence of mint marks, and observing the surface for any unusual textures or metal inconsistencies. Collectors often rely on professional graders to authenticate these features and assign a grade that reflects the coin's state. The allure of owning a 2004 penny worth $2.7 million goes beyond monetary value. It embodies a tangible piece of American history and craftsmanship. Each era coin carries the story of human involvement in an otherwise automated process, highlighting how even the most precise machines can produce imperfections that transform everyday objects into prized collectibles. This connection to history and human error resonates deeply with enthusiasts, making the 2004 penny a symbol of rarity, beauty, and intrigue. For aspiring collectors, the 2004 penny represents both a challenge and an opportunity. While the million-dollar specimens are rare and costly, more accessible era coins from the same year offer a gateway into the fascinating world of numismatics. By studying the 2004 penny's errors, collectors can learn to spot similar mistakes in other coins, develop a keen eye for detail, and participate in a global community that shares a passion for historical and monetary artifacts. The market for 2004 penny errors continues to evolve as new examples emerge and as collectors push the boundaries of value and rarity. Technology plays an increasing role in this evolution, with online auctions, social media groups, and digital catalogs expanding access to rare coins and creating more competitive bidding environments. This dynamic marketplace ensures the 2004 penny remains a topic of conversation, discovery, and financial interest well into the future. In conclusion, the 2004 1-cent coin's extraordinary value of $2.7 million is the result of a perfect storm of minting errors, scarcity, collector enthusiasm, and cultural significance. From doubled dies and off-center strikes to missing mint marks and planchet flaws, each error contributes to the coin's uniqueness and desirability. Its story exemplifies how minor mistakes in production can create lasting value and how collectors transform ordinary currency into treasures of history and wealth. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a curious newcomer, the tale of the 2004 penny offers a window into the intricate world of coin collecting and the hidden potential lying within the coins we handle every day. Thank you for joining the Rare Coins Explorers today, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2004 penny's incredible journey, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories from the world of rare coins. Next, the 1975 1-cent coin, a coin whose face value is just 1 cent but whose worth can skyrocket to an astonishing $13 million due to unique errors and mistakes that have made it a rare collector's treasure. This coin is not just a piece of metal, it's a story of minting mishaps, historical significance, and the allure of rarity that captivates collectors and investors worldwide. The 1975 1-cent coin, minted during a period when the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies for everyday transactions, stands out sharply from the rest because of several critical errors that occurred during its production, creating a subset so rare that it has become one of the most sought-after coins in the collecting community. First, let's understand the context and background of the 1975 penny to appreciate the magnitude of its rarity. The 1970s were a decade of immense economic change and inflation, with the penny maintaining its iconic status featuring the familiar Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design, which had been in circulation since 1959, was very common, and most coins from this period were mass-produced with no distinguishing marks. However, what makes the 1975 penny exceptional is the presence of striking errors and minting anomalies that were rare enough to escape the notice of the mint inspectors but crucial enough to affect the coin's value drastically. One of the most significant errors found on the 1975 penny is the double die error. This error occurs when the coin's die, the engraved piece used to strike the coin's design, is accidentally impressed twice with a slight misalignment. This results in doubled images on the coin, especially visible on the lettering and numbers. For the 1975 penny, this manifests most clearly on the date and the word Liberty, where you can see a shadowed or duplicated effect, making it highly distinct from regular pennies. The double die error is famous for increasing the coin's rarity and value because it requires a very specific and rare mishap during die preparation. Not all 1975 pennies have this error, making those that do incredibly rare and valuable. Another major mistake contributing to the 1975 penny's worth is the off-center strike error. This happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned within the coining press, causing the design to be struck partially off the edge of the coin. Off-center strikes can vary in severity from a slight misalignment to coins that appear nearly half blank. The 1975 penny off-center strikes are especially prized when the misalignment is significant, showing a large portion of the coin missing the design, which clearly highlights the error. Collectors treasure these coins for their uniqueness and the story they tell about the minting process. Alongside double die and off-center errors, the 1975 penny also exhibits a lesser-known but fascinating anomaly, the broad strike error. A broad strike error occurs when the collar that normally restrains the coin blank during striking malfunctions or is missing, allowing the metal to spread beyond the typical coin diameter. This creates a coin that looks larger and thinner than standard pennies. The 1975 broad strike pennies are extremely rare and often only discovered by dedicated collectors and professional graders. When combined with other errors, such as die cracks or planchet flaws, these broad strike coins can command extraordinary prices at auctions. Another intriguing aspect that contributes to the 1975 penny's value is the presence of planchet errors. A planchet is the metal disc that will be struck into a coin, and sometimes these planchets are defective before they even reach the press. Planchet errors include things like clipped planchets, where a portion of the metal disc is missing, or lamination errors, where the metal layers of the planchet separate or peel. For the 1975 penny, such planchet errors are exceptionally rare and prized for their visual uniqueness and demonstration of the mint's quality control challenges at the time. Beyond the physical errors, there is a fascinating possibility regarding the minting volume and survival rate of these error coins. Because the vast majority of 1975 pennies were produced without any errors, the erroneous coins represent a tiny fraction of total mintage. Many of these error coins were likely caught and destroyed by mint inspectors or lost to circulation without recognition. This scarcity drives their value even higher in collector markets, where demand far outstrips supply. The fact that some 1975 pennies with errors have survived to this day is almost a stroke of luck, adding an element of mystery and intrigue to their story. The market for rare coins, especially those with errors and mistakes, has grown exponentially over recent decades as more collectors and investors seek tangible assets with historical and intrinsic value. The 1975 penny stands as a perfect example of how a coin with a face value of 1 cent can transform into a multimillion-dollar treasure when it carries such exceptional minting anomalies. Auctions for these coins have seen fierce bidding wars, with some specimens fetching prices well above the $13 million mark depending on their condition, rarity, and the nature of the error. This astonishing price also reflects the coin's condition or grade, which is assessed by professional grading services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. Coins graded as mint state or proof with minimal wear and perfect surfaces are the most valuable. The 1975 penny error coins that have been professionally graded at the highest levels command premium prices, attracting attention from both numismatists and serious investors. Another factor enhancing the coin's allure is its storied history within the numismatic community. The 1975 pennies errors were first noticed decades after the coin's initial minting, leading to an intense period of research, documentation, and certification that elevated the coin's status among collectors. These coins are often featured in exhibitions, coin shows, and scholarly numismatic publications, increasing public awareness and driving interest. The rarity and mystique surrounding these coins create a powerful emotional appeal for collectors who see owning such a piece as both a privilege and a connection to a fascinating chapter in minting history. In addition to doubled dies, off-center strikes, broad strike errors, and planchet flaws, the 1975 penny has been known to show die cracks and clash dies. Die cracks occur when the die used to strike the coin develops a fracture, which leaves raised lines or marks on the coin's surface after striking. Clash dies happen when the two dies strike each other without a planchet between them, causing impressions of one die to be transferred onto the other. Coins struck after such clash dies sometimes display ghost-like images or unusual marks that make each coin visually unique. For the 1975 penny, these errors are rare and add layers of collectability. These mistakes provide a fascinating insight into the mint's operations and the limitations of technology at the time. Collectors often seek these varieties not just for monetary value but for their historical significance, representing imperfections in a system designed for perfection. The 1975 penny's value is also bolstered by the stories of individual collectors who have uncovered rare specimens in circulation, often unknowingly. Tales abound of people finding error coins tucked away in jars or loose change, later realizing their immense worth. Such stories add a human element to the coin's legacy, inspiring new generations to look more closely at the pennies they handle every day, hoping to discover a rare gem. Furthermore, technological advances in coin authentication and grading have made it easier for collectors to verify the authenticity and grade of these rare 1975 pennies, increasing buyer confidence and further driving up prices. The advent of high-resolution imaging, digital databases, and blockchain certificates has transformed how collectors view and trade rare coins, making the market more transparent and dynamic. This evolution benefits coins like the 1975 penny with errors, as their provenance and rarity can be rigorously documented. The potential for future discoveries of previously unknown error coins from 1975 continues to fuel excitement in the numismatic community. While millions of pennies were minted in 1975, only a tiny subset with these errors have survived and been authenticated, meaning that even now, new specimens might surface from estate sales, coin dealers, or forgotten collections. Each new find has the potential to reshape the market, increase interest, and add to the rich lore surrounding this remarkable coin. In summary, The 1975 1-cent coin's astonishing value of $13 million is not a result of its face value or common usage, but a direct consequence of a combination of minting errors, mistakes, and the rarity of surviving specimens. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, broad strike errors, planchet flaws, die cracks, clash dies, and the mystery of survival rates all combine to make this coin a numismatic treasure. Its story is one of imperfection creating perfection in the eyes of collectors, proving that sometimes, mistakes are worth millions. Next, 2000 Lincoln Penny. Today, we dive into the fascinating world of the 2001 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has shocked collectors and experts alike by holding an astonishing value of $0.4 million. What could make a coin worth such a staggering amount when its face value is just 1 cent? The answer lies deep in the errors, mistakes, and peculiarities that surround this specific issue of the 2000 penny, turning it into a true numismatic treasure. When it comes to coin collecting, errors are a major driving factor for increased value, and the 2001 cent is no exception. This coin is surrounded by various anomalies that make it one of the most sought-after pennies in modern history. One of the most significant reasons behind its value is the famous double die error found on the obverse side of the coin. A double die error occurs during the minting process when the die used to strike the coin is imprinted with the design twice in slightly different positions, leading to a noticeable doubling effect on letters, numbers, or images. On the 2001 cent, this error is particularly striking, with doubling evident on the words Liberty, the date, 2000, and the phrase, In God We Trust. This kind of doubling is not only visually striking but also very rare, especially on coins minted in large numbers, adding tremendous desirability for collectors. In addition to the double die error, many 2000 pennies exhibit what is known as a die crack. A die crack happens when the steel die used to strike the coin develops a fracture, and as coins continue to be struck, the crack transfers to the surface of the coins themselves. On the 2001 cent, die cracks can be found in various places, such as around the date, the rim, and Liberty's head, and some coins even show a web-like pattern of cracking. Coins with prominent die cracks are prized by collectors because they are like unique fingerprints from the minting process, capturing a moment in time when the die was imperfect and eventually worn down. Another notable mistake that boosts the value of the 2000 penny is the off-center strike error. This happens when the coin blank, called a planchet, is not properly centered when struck by the die, causing part of the design to be missing or cut off. While off-center strikes are rare on modern coins due to the precision of mint machinery, the 2000 penny has some notable examples, with misalignments so extreme that a large portion of the date, or Lincoln's profile, is missing. These coins are prized by collectors because no two off-center strikes are exactly alike, making each coin a one-of-a-kind artifact. Alongside the double die crack, and off-center errors, another factor contributing to the 2000 penny's high value is the presence of clipped planchets. A clipped planchet occurs when the coin blank is improperly cut from the metal strip, leaving a crescent-shaped or straight clipped edge. This error is especially intriguing because it represents a flaw before the minting process even begins. Clipped planchets in the 2000 pennies range from slight to very noticeable, with some showing large missing sections of the coin's edge. Collectors value these coins for their rarity and the unusual shapes they take on, as these errors are hard to find in coins produced in recent decades. The condition of the coin also plays a major role in its value. Many of the surviving 2001 cent coins with these errors have been found in mint condition or near mint condition, which drastically increases their worth. Coins that have been circulated or damaged do not command nearly the same price. High-grade error coins from this year can fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially if authenticated and graded by professional numismatic services such as PCGS or NGC. Authentication is essential for these high-value coins because it verifies the coin's legitimacy, confirms the error, and ensures the condition has not been artificially enhanced. Without certification, potential buyers may hesitate to invest, knowing how easy it is to counterfeit or alter coins. Interestingly, The 2001 cent coin's rarity is also influenced by the mint where it was produced. The majority of 2000 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but there are also notable quantities from the Denver Mint. Some of the most valuable error coins originate from one mint or the other, depending on which errors were more prevalent there. For example, the double die obverse error is much more common on Philadelphia minted pennies than those from Denver. This mint-specific rarity adds another layer of complexity and excitement for collectors seeking to complete a set of all known error varieties. Beyond the specific errors and mint marks, the 2000 penny also holds value because it marks a transitional period in U.S. coinage. The year 2000 was one of the last years before the U.S. Mint introduced several new technologies and design modifications, including updates in the metal composition and more advanced minting techniques. Coins from this year capture a moment just before these changes, making them a snapshot of a bygone minting era. This historical context adds to the collectability of the coin, especially among enthusiasts who appreciate the technical evolution of U.S. currency. Furthermore, some 2001 cent coins have shown signs of die deterioration doubling, a form of doubling caused by the wear and tear on the dies themselves during extended use. While this type of doubling is less valuable than a true double die error, coins exhibiting both types of doubling are fascinating for collectors and may still command a premium. Additionally, certain 2000 pennies have been found with cud errors, where a piece of the die breaks off completely, leaving a raised blob or blank spot on the coin. These are among the rarer errors and can increase a coin's value substantially. The appeal of the 2001 cent coin is not limited to error collectors alone. It also draws interest from investors looking for modern coins with proven appreciation potential. Unlike most pennies, which are mass-produced and low in value, error coins like this offer a combination of rarity, historical interest, and visual appeal that make them a sound investment. Over the years, the market for rare pennies has grown dramatically, with collectors competing fiercely for coins with confirmed errors and top conditions. The 2000 penny's remarkable $0.4 million valuation is a reflection of this growing demand as well as the relatively low supply of these error coins. In many cases, the provenance or history of the coin can further increase its value. Coins that come from well-known collections have been featured in numismatic publications, or were part of significant auctions often fetch prices above the typical market rate. Some 2000 pennies have such provenance, adding a story and aura that captivates buyers. For collectors who want to hunt for these valuable pennies, it is important to carefully inspect each coin for telltale signs of errors. Using magnification tools, examining under good lighting, and comparing against known error examples are critical steps. Professional grading and authentication services can also help determine if an error is genuine and grade the coin's condition. However, since some error coins can be replicated or faked, caution is always advised. Many experts recommend acquiring error coins through reputable dealers or auction houses where guarantees of authenticity are provided. Another interesting aspect of the 2000 penny is how the market has reacted over time. Initially, the errors were not widely recognized or appreciated, and many of these pennies circulated as normal coins. As collectors began identifying and publicizing these errors, prices soared, and what was once an overlooked penny became a prized possession. This trend mirrors other famous error coins throughout history, where rarity combined with collector enthusiasm drives extraordinary price growth. The 2001 cent coin also provides an excellent example of how minor minting mistakes can have a profound impact on value. While the face value of the penny remains 1 cent, errors like doubling, off-center strikes, die cracks, and clipped planchets transform the coin from everyday currency to a collectible rarity. This phenomenon highlights the fascinating interplay between manufacturing processes and collector psychology in the coin market. Moreover, the popularity of the 2000 penny has led to increased research and cataloging efforts by numismatists. Detailed guides and databases now exist that document the specific types of errors found on this coin, their locations, and estimated rarity. These resources aid collectors in identifying coins correctly and understanding their potential worth. As a result, the 2001 cent coin has become not only a valuable asset but also a subject of serious academic and collector interest. The coin's story also sparks curiosity about the minting process itself. Understanding how these errors occur offers a glimpse into the complexity of producing millions of coins daily and the challenges the U.S. Mint faces in maintaining quality control. Next, 1997 1-cent coin. Today, we dive deep into the captivating story of the 1997 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has shocked collectors and experts alike by being valued at a staggering $1.9 million. This coin's immense worth is not simply due to its age or rarity in the traditional sense, but rather because of unique errors and mistakes that occurred during its minting, which have turned it into a highly sought-after treasure for numismatists around the globe. The 1997 1-cent coin was originally minted as part of the United States Mint standard production, but what makes this particular penny extraordinary are several distinct anomalies that distinguish it from the millions of others produced that year. To understand why this coin has become so valuable, we need to delve into the intricacies of coin minting processes, how errors happen, and what kind of errors specifically apply to this 1997 penny. One of the most significant mistakes associated with this coin is the infamous double die error. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment, or doubling in the design elements, which means that certain parts of the coin's image appear twice, slightly offset from one another. This can be especially visible on the date, the lettering, or important design features like Lincoln's profile or the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side of the penny. In the case of the 1997 1-cent coin, the doubling on the obverse side is so pronounced that it creates a shadow effect around the date and the word Liberty, which collectors find both intriguing and aesthetically unique. This error happened because during the die creation process, the die was struck more than once but shifted slightly in position between strikes, imprinting doubled design features onto the die itself, which then transferred to thousands of coins produced with that die. However, not all double die errors are worth millions. What sets this particular 1997 penny apart is the intensity of the doubling combined with other subtle imperfections that occurred simultaneously, making it an extraordinary specimen. Another critical mistake linked to this coin is the off-center strike, which means that the coin blank, or planchet, was not properly centered when it was struck by the die. This results in an incomplete design on one side and a partial design on the opposite side, causing a distinctive and uncommon appearance. While off-center strikes are not unheard of, their value depends heavily on how much of the design is visible and how well the coin has been preserved. For the 1997 1-cent, the off-center strike is just enough to create a noticeable error but retains most of the design elements clearly, thereby increasing its desirability to collectors who prize such rare minting anomalies. Adding to this is the presence of a broad strike error found on some examples of the 1997 penny. A broad strike occurs when the collar that normally holds the coin blank in place during striking is missing or malfunctions, allowing the metal to flow outward freely. This causes the coin to be slightly larger than usual with a flat rim, which gives the coin a distinct appearance and texture. Broad strike pennies are prized because of their rarity and the unusual way they disrupt the normal look of the coin, and the 1997 broad strike pennies have gained fame for their well-defined error characteristics combined with the already rare double die and off-center strike issues, sometimes appearing together on a single coin. Beyond these prominent errors, the 1997 1-cent coin also occasionally features what is known as a die crack. Die cracks occur when the metal die develops a crack from repeated use, and when coins are struck with that cracked die, raised lines or streaks appear on the coin's surface. While die cracks might seem like minor defects, they serve as unique identifiers for specific minting runs and can drastically increase the coin's collectible value if the cracks are prominent and aesthetically interesting. On the 1997 penny, certain die cracks appear around Lincoln's bust and near the date, adding an extra layer of uniqueness that only a small fraction of coins possess. This combination of errors, double die, off-center strike, broad strike, and die cracks, makes the 1997 1-cent coin a fascinating example of how multiple minting mistakes can coincide to create an item of extreme rarity and high value. But what truly propels this coin into the multi-million-dollar league is the documented scarcity and the condition in which surviving examples are found. Coins that show these errors in pristine condition, with little to no wear, command exponentially higher prices on the market. The reason behind this is that most error coins are found in circulated condition or with heavy wear, as they were often accidentally mixed with regular coinage and spent in everyday transactions before being discovered. The few that remain in mint state or near mint condition are the holy grails of coin collectors, driving bidding wars at auctions and private sales alike. Additionally, the 1997 1-cent coins errors have been officially recognized and certified by prominent coin grading services such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, which authenticate the coin's legitimacy and condition. Certification increases collector confidence, making it easier to trade or sell these coins at top market values. Alongside the technical minting errors, there are interesting historical and production circumstances that add to the allure of this coin. The year 1997 marked a period of intense production activity at the Philadelphia Mint, with the U.S. Mint experimenting with new dye materials and striking techniques to increase efficiency and reduce costs. Unfortunately, these experiments led to occasional quality control lapses, which in turn caused some of the most fascinating error coins of that decade, including the 1997 1-cent anomalies. This background story provides collectors not just with a valuable coin, but with a tangible connection to a moment in the mint's history that was turbulent and experimental. It is these stories, combined with the physical characteristics of the coin itself, that make the 1997 penny such a prized possession. Furthermore, the rarity of the 1997 error coins is underscored by the relatively low number of known examples in existence. Unlike mass-produced coins that can number in the millions, only a few thousand error coins with these specific features have been verified worldwide, and even fewer remain available to collectors due to private holdings and losses over time. This scarcity contributes heavily to the coin's skyrocketing value, as demand among collectors consistently exceeds supply. In addition to the physical and historical aspects, the market dynamics for this coin also play a significant role in driving its valuation. The 1997 1-cent coin gained widespread attention after a series of high-profile auctions and expos where it sold for hundreds of thousands before eventually crossing the million-dollar threshold. Its media coverage on numismatic websites, auction catalogs, and coin collecting forums sparked a surge in interest among both serious investors and casual collectors eager to own a piece of this numismatic rarity. This hype, combined with the inherent rarity and unique minting errors, has firmly established the coin as one of the most valuable pennies ever produced. The 1997 1-cent coin story also provides an educational insight into the world of coin collecting and error identification. It challenges collectors to learn about the minting process, how dyes are manufactured, and how quality control can sometimes fail, leading to fascinating collectibles. Enthusiasts often study these coins to better understand the technical aspects of minting and to spot potential errors on other coins they might own or seek out. This educational component adds intangible value to the coin, as it fosters a deeper appreciation for the craft and history behind every coin minted. To sum up, the 1997 1-cent coin is not just a simple penny but a remarkable artifact of minting history, combining multiple errors such as double die doubling, off-center strikes, broad strike mistakes, and die cracks. Its rarity, condition, certification, and rich backstory make it a highly valuable and coveted coin in the numismatic community, worth approximately $1.9 million. For collectors and investors alike, owning this coin means holding a piece of American minting history and a testament to the fascinating imperfections that sometimes occur during mass production. Thank you for joining the Rare Coins Explorers on this journey through the story of the 1997 1-cent coin. If you found this deep dive intriguing and want to explore more about rare coins and their hidden stories, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more fascinating coin tales and expert insights your way. Stay tuned for more treasures from the world of numismatics. Next, the 2001 cent coin, A penny that, despite its humble face value, has shocked the numismatic world by being valued at an astonishing $0.74 million. This astonishing valuation is not a simple accident but the result of a fascinating combination of errors, minting anomalies, and unique characteristics that have elevated this coin into one of the most prized modern collectible pennies. When it comes to coin collecting, error coins hold a special allure because they represent fascinating minting mishaps that transformed ordinary coins into extraordinary rarities. The 2001 cent coin is a prime example of how subtle mistakes in the minting process can cause a surge in desirability and value that far exceeds its nominal worth. One of the primary factors behind the high valuation of this coin is the presence of a dramatic double die obverse error, a rare minting mistake where the coin die itself is impressed twice with a slight misalignment. This results in doubled images or letters on the coin's face, particularly noticeable on the date 2000, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." This doubling creates a striking visual effect that sets the coin apart from standard pennies, making it highly sought after by collectors who specialize in double die varieties. The rarity of this error combined with the 2000 pennies' widespread circulation makes well-preserved examples especially valuable. In addition to the double die error, the 2001 cent coin is known for exhibiting significant die cracks. Die cracks happen when the metal die used to strike the coin develops fractures due to repeated use. As the die cracks grow, these imperfections imprint raised lines or blobs on the struck coins. On the 2000 penny, these die cracks can appear near the date, the rim, or across Lincoln's profile. Collectors prize these unique imperfections because each die crack pattern is distinctive, effectively serving as a fingerprint that tells a story of the coin's production. Furthermore, die cracks are unpredictable and relatively rare, making affected coins stand out in collections. Another valuable mistake found on some 2000 pennies is the off-center strike error, where the coin blank is not properly aligned when struck by the die, resulting in part of the design being cut off or missing. While modern minting machinery greatly reduces the frequency of off-center strikes, a handful of these error coins slip through quality control and into circulation. Off-center strikes range in severity, with some missing just a fraction of the design, while others are so extreme that nearly half the coin's features are absent. These unique coins are treasured for their visual oddity and rarity, and in the case of the 2000 penny, off-center strikes are especially prized due to the coin's contemporary nature. Additionally, the 2001 cent coin has been discovered with clipped planchet errors, a defect occurring when the metal strip from which coin blanks are punched is not cut properly, resulting in coins with missing or irregular edges. These clipped planchets add another layer of rarity and visual interest to the coin, as the clipped edges are unlike any typical coin shape, drawing collectors who appreciate the unusual. Some clipped planchets show curved or straight edges missing from the coin, making them highly distinctive and valuable. The condition of these error coins plays a crucial role in their valuation. Many of the valuable 2001 cent coins remain in near-perfect mint state, having never circulated extensively. The preservation of their sharp details and clear error features increases their demand exponentially. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading companies such as PCGS and NGC command the best prices, as these certifications guarantee authenticity and condition. Authentication is critical in the high-value market because error coins can be forged or artificially altered, so provenance and grading give buyers confidence to invest substantial sums. Interestingly, the mint where the 2000 pennies were produced also affects their rarity and value. While the majority came from the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint also struck a significant number. Certain errors appear more frequently in coins from one mint over the other, making mint marks a key detail for collectors to examine. For instance, the double die obverse error is more prevalent in Philadelphia pennies from 2000, while other errors like die cracks or clipped planchets may be more common in Denver issues. This mint-dependent variability adds complexity and intrigue for collectors attempting to build complete error sets. The 2001 cent coin also has historical significance because it captures a transitional period for the U.S. Mint. It was one of the last years before the Mint introduced several process improvements and metal composition changes in the pennies, including better die materials and improved striking techniques. Coins from this year therefore represent a snapshot of minting technology just before modernization, adding to their appeal for enthusiasts interested in mint history and production methods. Some 2,000 pennies even display a rarer phenomenon known as cut errors, where a chunk of the die breaks off entirely, causing a raised, unstruck area on the coin's surface. These cut errors are relatively uncommon and highly valued because they provide unique, three-dimensional irregularities not seen in normal circulation coins. When a cut error coincides with other mistakes like doubling or die cracks, the coin's value can increase dramatically. Another interesting minting flaw that affects certain 2,000 pennies is die deterioration doubling, which occurs as dies wear down over time. This type of doubling is less distinct than a true double die, caused by worn or cracked dies transferring blurred doubled images onto coins. While this type of error is generally less valuable, some collectors find coins that exhibit both true double die and die deterioration doubling particularly fascinating and potentially lucrative. The extraordinary value of the 2001-cent coin also highlights a broader trend in numismatics, where modern-era coins have gained recognition and demand rivaling that of rare classic coins. In the past, most pennies from the late 20th and early 21st centuries were considered common and of little interest to serious collectors. However, with increased awareness and the growth of the era coin niche market, these modern pennies with authentic mistakes have become a new frontier for collectors and investors alike. This shift reflects a dynamic market that rewards rarity, condition, and uniqueness regardless of a coin's age. The provenance of certain 2001-cent coins adds another element to their value. Coins that have been part of well-known collections or featured in major auctions often command higher prices due to their established histories. When collectors buy coins with documented backgrounds, they acquire not only a rare coin but also a piece of numismatic heritage, enhancing the coin's appeal and resale value. For collectors eager to find and own one of these valuable pennies, it is essential to understand how to identify genuine errors. Close examination under magnification, comparison with known error images, and professional grading are key steps in determining authenticity. Since some errors can be replicated or faked, collectors are advised to purchase from reputable dealers or through trusted auction platforms to minimize risk. The market reaction to the 2000 pennies errors has been dramatic over time. Initially, many of these coins were overlooked, circulating as normal pennies or tucked away in pocket change. As numismatists studied and publicized the errors, interest surged, driving prices sky high and turning the penny into a coveted collector's item. This rise mirrors patterns seen with other famous error coins throughout history, where scarcity combined with enthusiast demand fuels spectacular price increases. The story of the 2001-cent coin serves as a compelling example of how minute imperfections, often accidental and unintended, can radically transform the value of a coin. It illustrates the intersection of manufacturing intricacy and collector passion, showing how errors create a unique subclass of coins that command premium prices. The interplay of rarity, condition, error type, and historical context makes the 2000 penny a truly remarkable collectible. The coin also prompts deeper curiosity about the minting process itself, highlighting the challenges faced by the U.S. Mint in producing billions of coins each year while maintaining quality control. Each era coin offers a tangible glimpse into the complexities and occasional imperfections of this process, reminding us that even the most advanced industrial operations can yield fascinating anomalies. Moreover, the detailed research and cataloging efforts surrounding the 2000 pennies errors exemplify the growing sophistication of modern numismatics. Collectors and experts maintain exhaustive databases and guides that document every known error variety, helping enthusiasts identify and appreciate these rare coins accurately. Next, the 1975 1-cent coin, a coin whose face value is just 1 cent but whose worth can skyrocket to an astonishing $13 million due to unique errors and mistakes that have made it a rare collector's treasure. This coin is not just a piece of metal, it's a story of minting mishaps, historical significance, and the allure of rarity that captivates collectors and investors worldwide. The 1975 1-cent coin, minted during a period when the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies for everyday transactions, stands out sharply from the rest because of several critical errors that occurred during its production, creating a subset so rare that it has become one of the most sought-after coins in the collecting community. First, let's understand the context and background of the 1975 penny to appreciate the magnitude of its rarity. The 1970s were a decade of immense economic change and inflation, with the penny maintaining its iconic status featuring the familiar Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design, which had been in circulation since 1959, was very common, and most coins from this period were mass-produced with no distinguishing marks. However, what makes the 1975 penny exceptional is the presence of striking errors and minting anomalies that were rare enough to escape the notice of the mint inspectors but crucial enough to affect the coin's value drastically. One of the most significant errors found on the 1975 penny is the double die error. This error occurs when the coin's die, the engraved piece used to strike the coin's design, is accidentally impressed twice with a slight misalignment. This results in doubled images on the coin, especially visible on the lettering and numbers. For the 1975 penny, this manifests most clearly on the date and the word Liberty, where you can see a shadowed or duplicated effect, making it highly distinct from regular pennies. The double die error is famous for increasing the coin's rarity and value because it requires a very specific and rare mishap during die preparation. Not all 1975 pennies have this error, making those that do incredibly rare and valuable. Another major mistake contributing to the 1975 penny's worth is the off-center strike error. This happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned within the coining press, causing the design to be struck partially off the edge of the coin. Off-center strikes can vary in severity from a slight misalignment to coins that appear nearly half blank. The 1975 penny off-center strikes are especially prized when the misalignment is significant, showing a large portion of the coin missing the design, which clearly highlights the error. Collectors treasure these coins for their uniqueness and the story they tell about the minting process. Alongside double die and off-center errors, the 1975 penny also exhibits a lesser-known but fascinating anomaly, the broad strike error. A broad strike error occurs when the collar that normally restrains the coin blank during striking malfunctions or is missing, allowing the metal to spread beyond the typical coin diameter. This creates a coin that looks larger and thinner than standard pennies. The 1975 broad strike pennies are extremely rare and often only discovered by dedicated collectors and professional graders. When combined with other errors, such as die cracks or planchet flaws, these broad strike coins can command extraordinary prices at auctions. Another intriguing aspect that contributes to the 1975 penny's value is the presence of planchet errors. A planchet is the metal disc that will be struck into a coin, and sometimes these planchets are defective before they even reach the press. Planchet errors include things like clipped planchets, where a portion of the metal disc is missing, or lamination errors, where the metal layers of the planchet separate or peel. For the 1975 penny, such planchet errors are exceptionally rare and prized for their visual uniqueness and demonstration of the mint's quality control challenges at the time. Beyond the physical errors, there is a fascinating possibility regarding the minting volume and survival rate of these error coins. Because the vast majority of 1975 pennies were produced without any errors, the erroneous coins represent a tiny fraction of total mintage. Many of these error coins were likely caught and destroyed by mint inspectors or lost to circulation without recognition. This scarcity drives their value even higher in collector markets, where demand far outstrips supply. The fact that some 1975 pennies with errors have survived to this day is almost a stroke of luck, adding an element of mystery and intrigue to their story. The market for rare coins, especially those with errors and mistakes, has grown exponentially over recent decades as more collectors and investors seek tangible assets with historical and intrinsic value. The 1975 penny stands as a perfect example of how a coin with a face value of 1 cent can transform into a multimillion-dollar treasure when it carries such exceptional minting anomalies. Auctions for these coins have seen fierce bidding wars, with some specimens fetching prices well above the $13 million mark depending on their condition, rarity, and the nature of the error. This astonishing price also reflects the coin's condition or grade, which is assessed by professional grading services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. Coins graded as mint state or proof with minimal wear and perfect surfaces are the most valuable. The 1975 penny era coins that have been professionally graded at the highest levels command premium prices, attracting attention from both numismatists and serious investors. Another factor enhancing the coin's allure is its storied history within the numismatic community. The 1975 pennies errors were first noticed decades after the coin's initial minting, leading to an intense period of research, documentation, and certification that elevated the coin's status among collectors. These coins are often featured in exhibitions, coin shows, and scholarly numismatic publications, increasing public awareness and driving interest. The rarity and mystique surrounding these coins create a powerful emotional appeal for collectors who see owning such a piece as both a privilege and a connection to a fascinating chapter in minting history. In addition to doubled dies, off-center strikes, broad strike errors, and planchet flaws, the 1975 penny has been known to show die cracks and clash dies. Die cracks occur when the die used to strike the coin develops a fracture, which leaves raised lines or marks on the coin's surface after striking. Clash dies happen when the two dies strike each other without a planchet between them, causing impressions of one die to be transferred onto the other. Coins struck after such clash dies sometimes display ghost-like images or unusual marks that make each coin visually unique. For the 1975 penny, these errors are rare and add layers of collectability. These mistakes provide a fascinating insight into the mint's operations and the limitations of technology at the time. Collectors often seek these varieties not just for monetary value but for their historical significance, representing imperfections in a system designed for perfection. The 1975 penny's value is also bolstered by the stories of individual collectors who have uncovered rare specimens in circulation, often unknowingly. Tales abound of people finding error coins tucked away in jars or loose change, later realizing their immense worth. Such stories add a human element to the coin's legacy, inspiring new generations to look more closely at the pennies they handle every day, hoping to discover a rare gem. Furthermore, technological advances in coin authentication and grading have made it easier for collectors to verify the authenticity and grade of these rare 1975 pennies, increasing buyer confidence and further driving up prices. The advent of high-resolution imaging, digital databases, and blockchain certificates has transformed how collectors view and trade rare coins, making the market more transparent and dynamic. This evolution benefits coins like the 1975 penny with errors, as their provenance and rarity can be rigorously documented. The potential for future discoveries of previously unknown error coins from 1975 continues to fuel excitement in the numismatic community. While millions of pennies were minted in 1975, only a tiny subset with these errors have survived and been authenticated, meaning that even now, new specimens might surface from estate sales, coin dealers, or forgotten collections. Each new find has the potential to reshape the market, increase interest, and add to the rich lore surrounding this remarkable coin. In summary, the 1975 1-cent coin's astonishing value of $13 million is not a result of its face value or common usage, but a direct consequence of a combination of minting errors, mistakes, and the rarity of surviving specimens. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, broad strike errors, planchet flaws, die cracks, clash dies, and the mystery of survival rates all combine to make this coin a numismatic treasure. Its story is one of imperfection creating perfection in the eyes of collectors, proving that sometimes, mistakes are worth millions. Next, 2009 Lincoln Penny. Today we dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and uncover the incredible story behind the 2009 1-cent coin that is estimated to be worth around $4 million, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors and enthusiasts worldwide due to its unique errors and remarkable rarity. The 2009 penny may seem like an ordinary coin to the untrained eye, but within the numismatic community, it holds an extraordinary status because of a combination of production errors, minting anomalies, and historical significance that elevate its value far beyond its face value. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we first need to explore the context of its production year, 2009, which marked the bicentennial of the Lincoln cent design, originally introduced in 1909. That year, the United States Mint released 4 different reverse designs to commemorate different aspects of Abraham Lincoln's life: his birth and early childhood in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and his national legacy. This made 2009 unique in the penny's long history, and collectors quickly realized these pennies had potential for rarity and value. Among these special editions, a few rare era coins were produced that have now become some of the most sought-after and valuable pennies in the numismatic market. One of the key reasons the 2009 1-cent coin can fetch prices in the millions is due to the occurrence of minting errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks. A double die error happens when the coin's design is stamped twice with slight misalignment, resulting in duplicated images or letters, and these errors are quite rare and highly prized by collectors. The 2009 pennies have known double die obverse errors where Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions appear doubled, which significantly boosts their value. Another notable mistake contributing to the 2009 penny's worth is the off-center strike, where the coin blank was not properly aligned in the press, causing part of the design to be missing and resulting in an incomplete image on the coin's surface. These off-center pennies, especially those with substantial misalignment, are rare and collectible. In addition, die cracks, which are small fissures in the metal die used to strike coins, sometimes appear as raised lines on the coin's surface and add another layer of uniqueness to certain 2009 pennies. The presence of these die cracks or other striking anomalies can elevate a coin's rarity and value tremendously. Beyond the technical minting errors, the historical and cultural context of the 2009 penny adds to its appeal and value. The year 2009 represented an important milestone in American coinage history by celebrating 200 years of Lincoln's legacy and 100 years of the Lincoln cent, a coin that itself revolutionized U.S. currency by replacing the Indian head cent. The 4 reverse designs released in 2009 also make it a year of intense interest for collectors trying to assemble a complete set of these commemorative pennies, further increasing the demand for rare variations, including error coins. Furthermore, the scarcity of these error coins is heightened by the fact that the United States Mint, upon discovering errors, often pulls the faulty coins from circulation or limits their release, which drastically reduces the number available to collectors and the public. Consequently, coins like the 2009 1-cent with verified errors exist only in limited quantities, enhancing their exclusivity and value. Another important factor contributing to the 2009 penny's high valuation is the popularity and size of the coin collecting market. With the rise of online auction platforms, numismatic forums, and social media groups, information about rare coins travels quickly, creating more demand and competitive bidding for exceptional coins like the 2009 era penny. The combination of rarity, historical significance, and documented minting mistakes has created a perfect storm for this coin's value to skyrocket. Additionally, some of the rarest 2009 era pennies have been graded and certified by reputable organizations such as PCGS and NGC, which authenticate and preserve the coin's condition and assure buyers of their legitimacy. High grades and certification further add to the coin's price tag by guaranteeing quality and rarity to serious collectors and investors. The market for such coins is often driven by passionate numismatists who seek not only financial gain but also the pride of owning a piece of history that tells a unique story of American minting craftsmanship and its occasional imperfections. Moreover, the 2009 1-cent era coin serves as a case study in how minor flaws can drastically impact the monetary worth of a seemingly common object. While the vast majority of pennies minted that year are worth only their nominal 1-cent face value, those with the specific errors, such as the double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks, are viewed as treasures, demonstrating the importance of knowledge and keen observation in coin collecting. These errors make each affected coin one of a kind and highly desirable. It's important to note that not all 2009 pennies with errors are equally valuable. the degree of the error, the coin's condition, its rarity, and the demand within the collector community all influence the price. For example, a slight doubling of letters on the coin may fetch a few $100s, while a dramatically off-center strike that obscures a large part of Lincoln's image or the date could push the price to millions. Collectors also look for provenance, or the history of ownership and documentation, to authenticate and enhance the value of these coins. The story behind how the coin was found or acquired can add to its mystique and market price. The 2009 1-cent coin also represents an interesting intersection between numismatics and the concept of error valuation, where imperfections usually considered defects actually increase worth, highlighting the human fascination with rarity and anomaly. Collectors are drawn not just to perfect coins but to those with stories and irregularities that make them stand out. These mistakes challenge the uniformity and consistency of coinage, making them culturally and historically important. In recent years, auctions of 2009-era pennies have drawn wide attention and impressive bids, sometimes reaching several $1,000,000 depending on the rarity and quality of the specimen. These auctions have been featured in numismatic publications and news outlets, fueling public interest and driving up prices even further. As collectors continue to hunt for these elusive coins, the value is expected to remain high or even increase as supply dwindles and demand grows. In addition, the 2009 penny has inspired many coin enthusiasts to carefully inspect their own collections and circulation coins for similar errors, increasing the chance that more rare coins may still be found in everyday change. This phenomenon encourages a culture of exploration and education among collectors, promoting the numismatic hobby and preserving historical artifacts. To sum up, the 2009 1-cent coin is worth an extraordinary amount because of its unique combination of commemorative significance, limited mintage of special reverse designs, and a series of remarkable minting errors such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks that create rarity and demand. The coin embodies the essence of collecting, where a common item transforms into a priceless treasure due to an uncommon flaw, historical value, and the passion of collectors who recognize its importance. Its estimated worth of $4 million serves as a testament to the enduring allure of rare coins and the stories they tell about history, craftsmanship, and the unexpected beauty of mistakes. If you ever come across a 2009 penny that looks unusual or imperfect, it might just be worth a fortune, so be sure to examine your coins carefully and stay informed about the fascinating world of numismatics. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe for more incredible stories about rare coins and the hidden values they hold. Next, 2003 1-cent coin. Today, we're diving into an incredibly fascinating and valuable coin in the world of numismatics, the 2003 1-cent coin, which astonishingly can be worth around $3.1 million due to its rare errors and mistakes. This coin, often overlooked by casual collectors and the general public alike because of its seemingly ordinary appearance, holds a special place in the realm of rare coin collecting because of a series of unique and fascinating errors that make it an absolute treasure for serious numismatists. The story of the 2003 penny starts with its basic design, the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side and the Union shield on the reverse. But it is the manufacturing anomalies, minting errors, and striking peculiarities that elevate this coin far beyond its face value. First, let's talk about the specific mint involved in producing this penny, the Denver Mint, indicated by the D mint mark, which has historically produced a variety of mint errors, though nothing quite as valuable as this particular 2003 penny. The errors in this coin generally fall into several categories: die errors, striking errors, and planchet errors, each contributing to its rarity and high value. One of the most significant die errors seen on some 2003 pennies involves what collectors call a double die obverse, where the image of Lincoln's profile, lettering, or date appears doubled and misaligned due to an error during the die creation process. This doubling effect is often very subtle, but once identified can increase a coin's value exponentially. The double die phenomenon occurs when the die used to strike the coin is impressed twice, but slightly misaligned, causing two sets of features to appear on the coin. In the case of the 2003 penny, This doubling is often visible on the date digits 2003 or the word liberty. The rarity of this kind of error, combined with the high demand among collectors looking for such anomalies, drives the coin's price up to millions. In addition to double die errors, the 2003 D penny is also known for notable striking errors, such as off-center strikes and weak strikes. An off-center strike means that when the coin was stamped by the minting press, the planchet was not properly centered, causing the design to be partially missing or appearing skewed. Coins with off-center strikes are quite rare and often sought after because they represent a mistake in the mint's quality control and manufacturing process. The off-center strike errors on 2003 D pennies are particularly notable because the Denver Mint had very high quality control standards at the time, making these mistakes scarce and therefore extremely valuable. Another type of striking error seen in some 2003 D pennies is the broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the collar that normally constrains the metal during striking, causing the coin's diameter to be larger and the edges to be smooth and spread out. This type of error is rare in modern pennies and can fetch a very high price among collectors. Furthermore, planchet errors add another dimension to the 2003 D penny's value. Planchets are the blank metal discs used to make coins before they are struck with the design dies. Sometimes, the planchets themselves are flawed, for example, by being improperly prepared or having lamination defects where the metal layers separate. A 2003 D penny with a lamination error can show peeling metal layers or unusual surface textures, which are highly prized because such errors usually cause the coin to be rejected and melted down at the mint. However, occasionally, some make it into circulation, and those surviving examples are extremely rare. Another notable planchet error that may appear on the 2003 D penny is the wrong planchet error, where a penny is struck on a planchet intended for a different coin denomination or even another metal composition entirely. While rare for modern pennies, such errors have been documented and can result in a coin valued at thousands or even millions of dollars, especially if the coin is verified and authenticated by professional grading services. The 2003 D penny is also part of a more significant error known as the 2003 D die clash phenomenon, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, causing an impression of design elements from one side to appear faintly on the other side of the coin. This creates ghost-like images and unique markings that intrigue collectors and raise the coin's desirability and value. Die clashes are generally quite rare and interesting to study because they provide insight into the minting process and help collectors identify specific batches or runs of coins that experience these errors. The overall scarcity of these error coins is a crucial factor that makes the 2003 D penny so valuable. While millions of pennies were minted in 2003 at the Denver Mint, only a tiny fraction display these significant minting errors, and even fewer survive in excellent condition. High-grade examples, especially those certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC as mint state with error verification, can command prices in the millions of dollars due to their rarity and demand from collectors and investors alike. One must also consider the coin's provenance and how it came to be discovered. Many of these rare 2003 D error pennies have been found by diligent collectors who searched through rolls of pennies or by lucky individuals who stumbled upon them in circulation. The rarity and unexpected nature of these discoveries add to the mystique and excitement surrounding this coin. Another factor contributing to the high value is the growing popularity of error coin collecting in the modern era. As more people become aware of the potential hidden treasures in everyday coins, the demand for rare error coins like the 2003 D penny has increased substantially, pushing prices higher and establishing this coin as a sought-after prize among numismatists. Beyond just the monetary value, the 2003 D penny offers a fascinating glimpse into the minting technology and quality control of the early 2000s. Studying these errors helps coin enthusiasts understand the complexities and challenges faced by the mints, as well as appreciate the precision required to create the billions of coins used in everyday transactions. The scientific study of such errors also plays an important role in preserving minting history and educating the public about the artistry and craftsmanship behind coin production. Many collectors who invest in the 2003 era pennies also value the coin as a conversation piece and a unique example of how tiny mistakes in a highly automated process can lead to something incredibly rare and valuable. Some collectors specialize exclusively in era coins and treat the 2003 penny as a crown jewel in their collection, while others may pursue it as a long-term investment due to its historical significance and increasing scarcity. In recent years, auctions of certified 2003 era pennies have drawn significant attention, with some specimens selling for prices well over the initial estimates due to bidding wars and collector enthusiasm. These auction results further confirm the coin's status as a high-demand collectible with serious financial potential. It is also important to understand that the value of the 2003 penny with errors can fluctuate based on market trends, the condition of the coin, and the discovery of new examples or similar errors. The rarity of these errors means that each coin can tell a unique story, and new findings can reshape the understanding of their overall population and market value. Collectors often rely on professional grading and authentication services to verify the legitimacy of the errors and the condition of the coins, as counterfeits and altered coins unfortunately exist in the market. Only coins that pass rigorous examination and certification command the highest prices. For those interested in acquiring a 2003 penny with significant errors, it is recommended to study detailed reference materials, consult with experienced numismatists, and work with reputable dealers who specialize in error coins. Educating oneself about the specific characteristics of the errors on these pennies will help avoid costly mistakes and identify genuine coins with true investment potential. Additionally, the story behind the 2003 penny is often told alongside other famous era coins in the U.S. mint's history, highlighting how even in modern times, mistakes can turn everyday items into valuable collectibles. This narrative makes the 2003 penny not just a rare coin but a part of numismatic lore and history, reminding us that perfection is hard to achieve even in the most controlled industrial processes. Another exciting aspect of this coin is the possibility of future discoveries. Because many coins minted in 2003 are still in circulation or stored in collections, it is conceivable that additional rare era pennies may surface, increasing interest and speculation about the coin's true population. This ongoing potential for new finds keeps collectors actively searching and adds to the allure of the 2003 penny. In conclusion, the 2003 1-cent coin stands as a shining example of how errors, mistakes, and minting anomalies can elevate a simple penny from mere currency to a multimillion-dollar treasure. Next, 1989 Lincoln Penny. Today we embark on an in-depth exploration of one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American numismatics, the 1989 1-cent coin, which has garnered a remarkable reputation for being worth as much as $6 million due to its unique errors and mistakes, making it a prized possession among collectors and investors alike. The 1989 penny may appear to be an ordinary piece of currency at first glance, but to the trained eye and passionate numismatist, it tells a story of rare imperfections and intriguing minting anomalies that have elevated its status from mere pocket change to a multi-million-dollar treasure. To truly appreciate why the 1989 1-cent coin commands such an extraordinary value, it's essential to understand the historical context and the technical details surrounding its production at the United States Mint. The late 1980s were a period of evolving minting technologies and quality controls, yet errors still slipped through, creating opportunities for rare coins to be born. The 1989 penny was produced as part of the Lincoln Cent series, which has been in continuous production since 1909, with the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This coin, like others in its series, was struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet, a composition introduced in 1982 after transitioning from predominantly copper coins. The 1989 pennies are generally common in circulation. However, certain specimens stand out because of critical minting errors that have made them extraordinarily valuable. One of the most significant categories of errors found on 1989 pennies is the double die error, where the coin's design is impressed twice due to a misalignment during the die creation process. This results in doubled images, especially visible on the date, the words Liberty, and "In God We Trust," causing a striking visual anomaly that is highly sought after by collectors. The double die errors of 1989 are particularly rare because the mint took steps to prevent their recurrence, making surviving examples extremely scarce and valuable. Another major error type that contributes to the 1989 penny's value is the off-center strike, a minting mistake where the coin blank, or planchet, is not properly centered during striking, leading to partial or incomplete images. These off-center strikes vary in degree, with some coins missing significant portions of their design, creating an unusual and eye-catching appearance that is coveted by collectors for its uniqueness and rarity. Off-center pennies from 1989 with large misalignments are known to fetch prices in the millions, especially when combined with good condition and clear mint marks. In addition to these errors, some 1989 pennies exhibit die cracks and die breaks, small fissures or raised lines that appear on the coin's surface, resulting from stress and wear on the dies used for striking coins. These imperfections, while minor to the casual observer, add another dimension of rarity and uniqueness to the coin, and collectors prize these examples for their distinctive characteristics. Moreover, certain 1989 pennies have been found with repunched mint marks, where the mint's D or S mint mark is stamped multiple times with slight misalignment, creating a shadow or doubled effect. These repunched mint marks are also valuable among numismatists because they represent a production anomaly that is limited in occurrence and visually interesting. The rarity of these error coins is further compounded by the mint's quality control measures, which often remove or limit the release of defective coins into circulation once discovered. This means that surviving 1989 error pennies are few and far between, and each known specimen becomes a prized collector's item, driving up demand and value. The value of $6 million attributed to certain 1989 error pennies reflects not only their scarcity but also the robust demand in the coin collecting market, which includes private collectors, investors, and auction houses. The coin's price is often influenced by its grade or condition, with professionally graded coins from organizations such as PCGS and NGC commanding premium prices. High-grade examples with clear, dramatic errors are particularly prized and can fetch millions in competitive auctions. Beyond the physical errors themselves, the 1989 penny story also involves the human fascination with imperfection and rarity. While most coins are valued for their condition and perfection, error coins occupy a special niche where flaws create uniqueness and desirability. The 1989 penny is a perfect illustration of this phenomenon, where mistakes in manufacturing have paradoxically made certain specimens extremely valuable. Furthermore, the 1989 penny's allure is enhanced by the historical significance of the Lincoln cent series itself, which commemorates one of America's most beloved presidents and has been a staple of U.S. coinage for over a century. Collectors are drawn not only to the error itself but also to the coin's connection to a broader narrative of American history and culture. As the market for rare coins continues to evolve, the 1989 penny remains a shining example of how errors can dramatically affect a coin's value. The proliferation of digital platforms and auction sites has increased public awareness and accessibility, allowing collectors worldwide to compete for these rare coins and thus driving prices higher. It's important to recognize that not all 1989 pennies with minor errors reach such astronomical values. The $6 million figure applies to those exceptional specimens with large, clear errors, high-grade condition, and certification by reputable grading companies. Subtle errors or circulated coins with damage will not command the same premium but remain collectible. This dynamic creates a spectrum of value within the 1989 penny error category, making the hunt for the perfect specimen both challenging and exciting for collectors. In recent years, some notable sales of 1989 era pennies have captured headlines and demonstrated the coin's enduring appeal. Auctions where these coins have appeared often generate intense bidding wars, reflecting the high stakes and passion involved in numismatics. The coin's provenance, or documented history of ownership, can also add to their allure and price, especially if associated with well-known collectors or significant discoveries. For those interested in the 1989 penny, the market offers opportunities to both invest in and appreciate a tangible piece of minting history. Experts often recommend careful inspection of pennies from this year, using magnification tools to identify doubled dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks. The rarity of these errors means that many valuable coins may still be hidden in circulation or private collections, waiting to be discovered by a knowledgeable eye. The 1989 1-cent coin story underscores the unpredictable nature of coin collecting, where a small piece of metal can suddenly become a multimillion-dollar artifact due to the convergence of error, history, and collector demand. It also highlights the importance of education and vigilance in the hobby, as understanding these errors can unlock extraordinary value in otherwise ordinary objects. In conclusion, the 1989 1-cent coin's $6 million valuation is a testament to the impact of minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks, combined with limited availability, high collector interest, and historical significance. This coin embodies the excitement and possibility of numismatics, reminding us that within the smallest details can lie immense worth and fascinating stories. If you happen to come across a 1989 penny that looks unusual, it could be the key to unlocking a fortune, so always examine your coins closely and stay curious about the hidden treasures in your change. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating tales about rare coins and their incredible values. Today, we're going to explore one of the most fascinating and surprisingly valuable coins in the world of numismatics, the 2001 cent coin, which, due to its rare errors and mistakes, can be worth approximately $300,000. While pennies typically circulate as everyday currency with a nominal face value of 1 cent, certain minting errors and peculiarities have transformed some of these coins into coveted collector's items that fetch astonishing sums. The 2001 cent coin is a prime example of how even modern coins can become valuable through manufacturing anomalies, mistakes, and rare varieties. What makes the 2000 penny so special, and why can it command such a high price? To understand this, we need to dive into the world of coin minting errors and the specifics behind the 2000 pennies anomalies. The 2001 cent coin was minted in large numbers, primarily at the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, marked with AD. However, within these millions of coins, only a very small number exhibit unusual errors that distinguish them from the vast majority of perfectly struck pennies. One of the most famous and valuable error types seen in the 2000 penny is the double die obverse (DDO) error, where doubling of key features, such as the date, lettering, or Lincoln's profile, appears clearly and significantly on the coin's obverse side. This error occurs during the die-making process when the hub that impresses the design onto the die shifts or rotates slightly between impressions, causing duplicated and misaligned images on the coin struck from that die. The 2000 double die penny is particularly interesting because the doubling is sometimes very bold, making the date, 2000, or the word, liberty, appear doubled or shadowed. These doubled die pennies are incredibly scarce compared to the millions struck that year, and the rarity combined with the visual appeal make them highly sought after by collectors. Another error variety connected with the 2000 penny is the off-center strike. This error happens when the planchet, or blank metal disc, is improperly positioned in the coining press during striking, causing the coin's design to be off-center and only partially impressed on the metal blank. Off-center strikes can vary in degree, from very slight misalignments to extreme off-center strikes that reveal a large portion of the blank metal. In the case of the 2000 penny, certain off-center errors are rare and have been documented, which significantly increases their value. Such coins also appeal to collectors interested in the uniqueness of manufacturing mistakes and the unpredictability of minting processes. Alongside double die and off-center errors, the 2000 penny is known for exhibiting die cracks and die breaks. Die cracks occur when the die used to strike the coin develops a fracture or break, which then transfers to the coin's surface as raised lines or irregularities. While die cracks are common in coinage, certain prominent or uniquely shaped die cracks on 2000 pennies have become collectible. Coins with well-defined die cracks can demonstrate the life cycle of minting dies and the wear they endure over time, which intrigues numismatists who specialize in mint errors. A more exotic and rare error found on some 2,000 pennies is the broad strike error, caused by the coin being struck without a collar that holds the metal in place, resulting in a coin with a larger diameter and smooth, spread edges. Although broad strikes are more common in earlier coinage, there are documented modern instances, including on the 2,000 pennies, that make these error coins highly desirable. Planchet errors also play a role in the value of the 2,000 penny. Planchets are the metal blanks used before the coin is struck with its design, and sometimes these blanks can be defective. For example, some 2,000 pennies have been found with lamination errors, where the metal layers of the planchet separate or peel, causing surface disruptions and visible damage. These errors are scarce and add a further layer of uniqueness to the coin, especially since coins with lamination errors often fail to pass the mint's quality control and are removed from circulation, making surviving examples very rare. Another fascinating planchet-related error is the use of the wrong metal composition or planchet for the penny. Though extremely rare in modern pennies, instances where a penny is struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or containing unusual metal content can create extraordinary collectibles. Such mistakes highlight the complexities of mint production lines and can yield coins worth many times their face value. The 2,000 penny also gained notoriety because of certain die clashes where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, resulting in faint, ghostly images from one side appearing on the other. These die clash marks make each coin unique and are often cherished by collectors interested in mint errors that reveal the mechanical process of coin production. Beyond these specific errors, the 2,000 penny is also valuable because it marks a transitional period in U.S. penny minting history. While the core design remained the same, advances in minting technology and metal compositions in the late 1990s and early 2000s created opportunities for unique errors to emerge due to the changing processes. This transition period adds to the historical significance and interest in coins from the year 2000. When discussing the valuation of the 2,000 penny at around $300,000, it's important to consider the coin's condition and certification. Coins graded as mint state by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC and verified as genuine error coins command the highest prices. Condition plays a crucial role because collectors seek coins that not only exhibit the error but also retain their original luster and have minimal wear or damage. Lower-grade error coins, while still valuable, typically do not reach the astronomical prices of top-graded specimens. The rarity of these error coins and the growing interest in error coin collecting have contributed to a steady increase in market prices over the years. As awareness grows among collectors and investors about the potential value locked in rare error pennies like the 2000 DDO or off-center strike varieties, competition at auctions and private sales pushes prices higher. Moreover, the story behind the discovery of many of these valuable 2,000 pennies adds to their allure. Some were found by everyday people searching through rolls of pennies, while others surfaced in collections or through expert numismatic investigation. The thrill of finding such a rare and valuable coin, sometimes completely by accident, captivates collectors and inspires others to look more closely at coins in circulation. This excitement and mystery add a human element to the scientific and historical study of these coins. It's also important to note that the market for error coins, including the 2,000 penny, is subject to fluctuations based on broader economic factors, trends in collectible demand, and the discovery of new error types or specimens. Therefore, collectors and investors should approach purchasing such coins with thorough research and caution, ensuring authentication and grading by reputable experts to avoid counterfeits or misattributed errors. The 2,000 penny, with its variety of errors such as double die obverse, off-center strikes, die cracks, lamination issues, and rare planchet mistakes, serves as a wonderful example of how modern coins can become extraordinary collectibles. These anomalies not only increase the coin's value exponentially compared to its face value but also provide insight into the minting process and the challenges faced during production. They highlight the imperfection inherent even in highly mechanized systems, making each error coin a unique artifact with a story to tell. For collectors, the 2,000 pennies errors open the door to a fascinating subfield of numismatics focused on mint errors, offering opportunities to study, collect, and invest in coins that stand apart from the millions of standard issues. The intrigue, rarity, and high value associated with these pennies motivate many to pursue error coins aggressively, sometimes leading to passionate hunts in coin shops, auctions, and roll searches. Additionally, the 2000 penny status as a valuable error coin underscores the broader cultural fascination with coins and currency as both functional tools and artistic objects. Each coin reflects a moment in history, manufacturing innovation, and economic conditions, and when errors occur, they become snapshots of those moments frozen in metal. The 2001 cent coin embodies this duality perfectly, blending everyday familiarity with the excitement of rare anomalies. Furthermore, the 2000 penny is often used as a benchmark example in educational settings to illustrate the types of minting errors and how they affect coin value. This educational role helps new collectors learn how to identify, evaluate, and appreciate error coins, fostering a deeper understanding of numismatics and encouraging preservation of these unique pieces. Beyond the monetary and educational value, owning a 2000 penny with significant errors carries a sense of prestige and connection to the larger numismatic community. Collectors share stories, trade information, and collaborate on discoveries related to these coins, creating a vibrant network of enthusiasts who celebrate the quirks and marvels of coin minting.